after Tyrese Haliburton criticized the new NBA rule where players must play 65 games in order to win regular season awards. Stephen A. at Mad Dog had to educate Molly on why this rule is so beneficial for the league and especially the fans.
Tyrese Haliburton returned from injury after missing 10 of his 11 last games. He had this to say to The Athletic on the NBA's 65-game policy. Quote, "I think it's a stupid rule, like plenty of the guys in the league, but this is what the owners want. So as players, we got to do our job playing 65 games if we're able to. So that's what I got to do, take care of my body to be able to play in those games. And I think you're seeing other players in the league kind of face the same thing as long as the owners are happy."
Tyrese Haliburton is somebody that I voted as an all-star this year, starter in the all-star game. I think he's been sensational, but respectfully, he's wrong. And I want to make sure that I say this to America out here. You want to look at the NBA and these rules that inhibits or derail somebody from capturing some of these league awards, MVP and all of this other stuff? Well, blame some of your contemporaries because it's their fault. It's not the league's fault. What are you supposed to do? You're the National Basketball Association. And you have watched, and I'm going to say it, and I'm going to call out. I'm not calling out every NBA player. I'm not talking about anybody who's had legitimate injuries. I'm talking about the fact that we're living in a day and age where you see people sitting out games to prevent injuries. They're not injured. They're preventing themselves from getting injured by sitting out games. They're perfectly fine to go to an arena and play. They show up to the arena. They're dressed. 18, 19,000 people are in the arena, but you elect to sit out. Let me throw this by you, doggy, because I have my researcher do some history here. Michael Jordan played in at least 78 games a season in 12 of his 15 seasons. 9 times he played all 82 games. John Stockton, 16 times, all 82 games. Karl Malone, 10 times, all 82 games. Michael Jordan, Gary Payton, 9 times, all 82 games. Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, 5 times. Kobe Bryant, 4 times. Now let's go to load management in this load management era, and I understand that Kawhi Leonard has had some injuries. Kawhi Leonard has only played in at least 65 games in 3 of his 12 seasons. In 3 of his 12 seasons. Oh, by the way, doggy, through this season, he will have earned $276.5 million. I'm diming folks out right now. Kyrie Irving, can't forget him, okay, has only played in at least 65 games in 4 of his 12 seasons in the National Basketball Association. We're bragging about Anthony Davis. They're 0-3 with Anthony Davis this year out of the lineup. He's only missed 3 games. Congratulations. Here's the problem. You were averaging 28 missed games over the last 4 years, okay? We got nationally televised games popping up, and guys are choosing at their own volition. I'm not playing this game. I'm not going to sit out this game. So you know what? They came up with a strategy that's going to compel you to play in those games to ensure that you earn your damn money. Because the people who built this league for you, that's what they did. And some of these players, not most, not all, but some of them have basically gave the proverbial finger to the league, right, to the media, to the public. And the NBA said, damn that. So when you look at guys, you signing for 200, 250. Jaylen Brown just signed for $305 million. You know that means Tatum's going to get $350 million, okay? All they're asking in return is that you show up to work. You show up to work. How is it somebody one day is going to have to explain to me, how can you play in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s? Technology wasn't what it is today. The money that they're making today far exceeds the money that they once made. But notice how dudes played. It's amazing what you do when there's a level of urgency attached to it. When oh, you got to do this in order to get paid. Suddenly you see cats out there.
100% right. I don't know what else to say. I'll say 4 quickies.
What about protecting their bodies?
Stop protecting their bodies. How many times did Stevie and I be in a New York Knicks locker room in the 90s, and I got Ewing, who's got 2 bad knees with his feet in the ice buckets, basically can't walk, and he's out there 82 games a year.
But maybe they don't want to do that to their
Well, I mean, why not?
Beat them.
That's for being a professional athlete. You're not 100% every day. You show up and work, don't you? He's not 100% every day. He's bouncing around America. He shows up and work. I got to work. I mean, gee whiz. And I blame Popovich. How about the old days with Jerry West? You know what they did? You're talking about 4 games and 4 nights in 4 different cities, and they're flying coach. The fans want you to do this.
Right.
It's not the owners.
Right.
It's the fans. They want to go to a ball game knowing that you are going to play in it because you're one of the fun guys in the league to watch.
Still don't understand. So you're just saying, I know we have to
the
go.
regular season to these players doesn't mean anything. It's postseason that they care about.
It doesn't mean
it's not the regular season.
You need regular season to get to the postseason.
Yeah, but they've used the excuse on many occasions. No, we're not going because it's important. Listen, they've used every excuse under the sun. Even with the All-Star Weekend, the lack of participation by some of those guys, whether it's the slam dunk contest or various other things. Oh, we're not getting paid any extra for that. That's them. We don't have to do this. This is what you hear. Molly, do you know the story of when the San Antonio Spurs had a game in Orlando? The next night, they had a nationally televised game. This is when Commissioner Stern was still alive.
In Miami.
He was the commissioner in Miami. It was a nationally televised game. There was no Duncan. There was no Manu Ginobili. There was no Tony Parker. How did we find out? Molly, people were tweeting that they were at the Chick-fil-A in the airport at Orlando. In Orlando, getting ready to fly home on Southwest. I mean, it was just a snub in the face. We've seen Kobe leave with separated shoulders, messed up fingers, come back in the game. We see Michael Jordan. You remember how Steph Curry sat up there and didn't realize, and this little girl was crying her heart out because she came to see Steph Curry and he couldn't make it. So the next time he came there, he made sure that she was there and she spent the day with him or whatever because he had no idea. He didn't want to affect the kid like that. But the point is that she came there. She was an example of a lot of fans out there who come to the games and are looking to see their play. And unlike the NFL, they market individual players.
I wish we had some former players on right now also to get their perspective.
How'd Jordan text you? You're your buddy. You had the freaking cocktails with him at the championship game.
I can't repeat what Jordan says.
Molly's wrong on this for 2 reasons. Number 1, when she says protecting players' bodies, no one says an injured player has to play in an NBA game. If you're hurt, you sit out. What we're talking about is healthy NBA players sitting out for no reason to prevent an injury. If you're completely healthy and you want to protect your body, then don't play a professional sport. If you're sitting out games because you're that worried that you're going to get hurt, then you should give up your roster spot to someone who's willing to play. And you definitely shouldn't be getting paid when you're not playing. The second and main reason why Molly is wrong is because the rules are working. We're now seeing Kawhi Leonard, Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving play in all games that they're healthy, when right now, Anthony Davis would have missed 10 or more games and Kawhi Leonard would have missed half the season. I think it's important to mention that it's not just because of the 65-game rule. Kawhi Leonard, AD, Kyrie, they don't give a damn about those awards. What they're concerned about is losing pay because the NBA initiated a load management rule, which is actually more important than the 65-game rule. But I'm for all of it. I know it's a small sample size, but this rule has really exposed that load management doesn't actually work. We've seen no difference in the amount of injuries that Anthony Davis and Kawhi Leonard have sustained when they sit out a bunch of games. They've played in more games than ever before, and they're healthier than ever before. The only difference is that instead of sitting out, they're playing to earn their money. To further prove my point, after implementing these rules, the NBA did a study and found no link between load-managed players and a decreased risk of injury, which means before the rules are implemented and after the rules are implemented, there is no difference, which shows that these rule changes are positive for the league and more importantly, for the fans. But as always, I want to hear from you guys in the comment section down below. What do you think of the new load management rules and the 65-game rule implemented by the NBA? And don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed this video and subscribe for more NBA content just like this, and I will see you in the next upload.